Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Band Together Leadership. My name is Paul Everts. I'm your host. Please contact me with my my email address, not yours, mine. It would be BAND2 bandtogethercomcast.net. And I wish you would, because it's good to hear what people are thinking about what I'm giving you. And the other place I'd like you to go to is conductingmylife.com. That's one word, conducting my life, and then .com. Go to the curriculum tab. You see I'm part of the John Maxwell team. I'm a certificated speaker, trainer, coach for John Maxwell, using his materials such as Make Today Count. I'd love to be hired by you. Private lessons, come do groups lessons with you. Private sector, public sector. Able to even make it work with Christian people as well. Come to your church and work with your leadership team at church. It's great material. I love it. Used it for over 30 years almost. So I love Dr. Maxwell, and he's a good man, and he's got good material. All right, so there's the introduction. Last thing I want to do too is just remind you, the reason I don't have comments is because I do have students, scholars who are high school and younger that are watching these videos to share with their parents and people and the guardians. And I don't want them to see vulgarity. I'm not into that. Plus, I gave you my email address, so you could always send me an email. Be brave. Have courage. Don't make it anonymous either. Put your name with it. You can do it. I know you can. One more time. BAND, the number 2 together, bandtogethercomcast.net. We are now chapter 11 of Make Today Count. I don't read the book because I want you to buy the book. However, I do use the book as a foundation for us to learn. So we're going to talk about values today. And values are super important. Sometimes, like Dr. Covey, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he thinks principles are a little bit stronger word than values. But there are principles that we should be living by. Truth, honor, integrity is truth and honor. What else can we say? Honesty, which is another form of truth. There are certain things that are with us at any age. Telling the truth is with us at any age. When we get to be 18 and older, we get to vote. There are certain things that don't apply to us when we're 15, when we're 57, like me, and vice versa. So, what values were you taught? That's a good question. Again, for me, the biggest value is always telling the truth. Can you lie? Well, the one example of a lie is if my house got broken into and they asked me, is there another person in the house, and my wife was in the bedroom, I wouldn't say my wife's in the bedroom. I would lie to protect my wife. But telling the truth is one of our most, I think, sacred values, frankly, principles to live by, is to tell the truth. So whatever your values were, your principles, this is what it says. It says, I will lead others based on the values I embrace. I will lead others based on the values I embrace. So whatever values you have, they are the foundation for the way you're going to lead. So Dr. Maxwell has a book called Spiritual Leadership, and I do too, by the way. It left a mark on him. Inside the back cover, he wrote 3 commitments that would shape the rest of Dr. Maxwell's life. Here they are. Number 1, to be God's man. No matter where my work takes me, I desire to be in the center of God's will. Number 2, to develop my potential to be the best of my ability. This Dr. Maxwell writing, I will never allow myself to be lazy, indifferent, or non-committal concerning spiritually lost people. And then finally, number 3 is to be a true spiritual leader. God is my idol. Jesus is my pattern, and the Bible provides my direction. Too many men are stereotyped leaders. Their whole outlook is warped by their surroundings. Dr. Maxwell writes, I will not, with God's help, be poured into another man's mold or teach what I do not believe. Then he continues with, for 34 years, I have continually asked myself this question. Am I leading others according to the values I embrace? At times, my value-based leadership has alienated me from others, but never from myself. And then I would add, nor from God. Therefore, it's being personal. That's why right now I am challenged at 57 years old to work in the California public schools. That doesn't mean I don't want to be with them. I just say it's a challenge. My values, truth. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. That's truth to me. Well, others it's not anymore. And Solzhenitsyn says to live not by lies. That's a value. And I think that what you need to do is start asking yourself, does your job take you away from your values? If your job takes you away from your values, you might need to think of making a change. And I don't think it should be your values. Dr. Maxwell continues saying, making the decision to embrace and practice good values daily. You create a list of good values. He says, begin writing down any and every idea you have concerning values. List every admirable character quality you can think of. As an aspect of your life comes to mind, try to capture what is important to you about it. Ultimately, your values should not be determined by externals, such as your profession or your environment. But as you consider such things, you'll be prompted to be thorough in your thinking. What are your values? Dr. Covey would say you should be living a principle-centered life, not a friend-centered life. So you have a circle of influence. What is the center of the circle of influence? And Dr. Stephen Covey says it should be your principles. So however your decision-making is, that's your circle of influence. So it's your circle center should not be your friends, family, money, church. It's hard. The other things that Dr. Maxwell says you should do is embrace those good values. You make a decision to live those values daily. Then he says making the discipline of values, managing the discipline of values. And then he goes, the discipline I practice to battle this. Battle means staying true to your values, staying who you are. Every day, this is what you say to yourself, every day, I review and reflect on my values. To help me do that, I keep a list of my daily dozen in my thinking companion, a little notebook. He always keeps that with him so that he can write down ideas and jot the reminders of things to tell his wife. Every time Dr. Maxwell opens a notebook, he sees those 12 values. He also gives himself the 12-minute test. At the end of each day, he spends 1 minute reviewing and reflecting on each of the daily dozen. Boy, I need to do that better. Then he also says, articulate and embrace your values. Compare your values to your practices daily. So the gap between knowing and doing is significantly greater than the gap between ignorance and knowledge. I'll read that again. The gap between knowing and doing is significantly greater than the gap between ignorance and knowledge. A person who identifies and articulates his or her values but does not practice them is like a salesman who makes promises to a customer and then fails to deliver. The person has no credibility. In business, the result is that person loses the job. In life, the person loses his or her integrity. And finally, live out your values regardless of your feelings, and then evaluate each day in the light of your values. Most people take very little time to do any reflective thinking, yet reflective thinking is necessary for anyone who wants to live out his values with consistency. Ben Franklin would ask when he'd get up, what good am I going to do today? And then when he went to sleep, he asked, what good did I do today? What are your values? List them. Live by them. Be true to them. It's getting harder. I admit it. That's why I need God. Getting bombarded all the time. I need God. I need my wife. I need those close to me. So do you. I hope this helped you. As always, begin with the end in mind. Every choice you make is who you are. How do you want to be remembered? You have power on that. Make good choices. Seek first to understand and be understood. And finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I care about you dearly, and that's why I make these videos. Send me a comment, BAND number 2 together at Comcast.net. Why do you need to put it publicly? You looking for something? I'm going to read your comment. Make sure your email is true so I can respond to it. All right, take care. God bless. Thanks for watching. Press that like button. Subscribe. Bye.